okay? The national icon actually just gave Hicksy some food for him last night. Are you there, caller? Yes. Uh huh.
Mark,
Yes.
Mark, am I on?
You are on. You are. Yes.
Mark, are you referring to Coco who used to play football, who used to work on the port?
Coco should, the former custom officer. Yes.
So he went get crashing. What happened to him like that?
I don't know. I'm not a mental doctor. I don't know. But he seemed to be going through some challenges and so very disoriented. That's what I can tell you at this time.
What? Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I couldn't believe my ears. I said, let me call you.
Yep.
I mean, I saw this man a few months ago. He was looking like, not a young fella like he used to be, but I never realized he was going through this kind of state.
Yep.
I'm sure people will help, and I'm sure Mr. Doctor, who has a good heart from the Olympic Committee, will see what they can do. And the sports people should do something too, because, he served Dominica beyond the call of duty in terms of soccer and football.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I can understand that, man. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Yes. I'm hoping that the authorities can step in, get him all the help he deserves. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes.
I just don't even know what to say. Because some weeks, I think last week, either Wednesday, I was going out walking in town to do my errand. I saw him sit down by Bolo on a chair, well clean, well nice seated. But the person is staring at me. I said, but when I go back, I watch good. I said, he's Coco. So I said, hey, he always used to compliment me and we raised up together in his very street to have fun. And I saw him, and let me tell you, I am not a doctor, but Mr. Pelte, I look at him and his response, he used to talk to me. I realized it has a little bit of dementia in it, something so could be happening there. And I spoke to Mr. there, and another friend of mine was there. We did joke about Ezra, so that he just recently died with cancer. And is anything these days, Mr. Pelte? That's why some of us have to keep ourselves low, because we think as we don't know. But it is just a thing that is happening. People are going through various things, and I just trust that people will help this man that did all his best for Dominica, where football is and other things. God bless you. Have a nice day.
God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody says, oh my God, what's wrong with him? I suspect, I'm not a specialist, but I suspect he's going through some challenges. And I'm just making the appeal to help him when you see him. Right now, I have a video with him sleeping on the porch. That's not the Jomo we knew, right? Reach out to him, and if you can, feed him when you see him. I just thought Dominica should be made away, and I just reached out to the president of the Dominica Football Association, who did say that he would give some assistance. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes.
Good morning, man.
What's that?
How you doing?
I'm him. I'm here. Good morning to you, yes.
Packet speaking here. I can't believe what I'm hearing from you, my man. Coco and I, we worked together in customs in the early 80s. I remember we worked in customs in the early 80s. In fact, just about Wednesday last week, I saw him in the corner of Hillsborough Street and Old Street, and we were talking. We had a nice conversation. It sounded okay to me, but it's unfortunate. And trust me, my brother worked together, and anyway, I see him. If I have anything, I'll give him. But very difficult to digest at first. But we just have to pray for each other, bro, because this world, including Dominica, look over us, Father. We have to pray. Anyway, I cannot support him, my bro. But we're working customs together on that. Let's continue praying for him.
Yep. I just thought, again, I'll bring that to the attention of Dominica. You could reach out to him when you see him. Hello, talk to me. Are you there? And I did talk to the president of the Football Association, who sent him the video, and he did commit that they would be doing something for Jomo. So let's continue to pray for him. Hello, talk to me. Yes, 449-3095-9697. These are the numbers you can call, and we're going to move on to a next subject.
Time to go, you got to go. But where do you go? To sleep in Comfort Funeral Home. Sleep in Comfort Funeral Home is locally owned, local coffins and caskets with rich craftsmanship and sparkling finish, uniquely customized, affordable packages and pre-planned services, including transportation, storage, briefs, programs, pin-ons, and much, much more that will take away every burden and worry. A professional team providing exceptional service. Sleep in comfort. Funeral home where your burdens will be light and your loved ones will be laid to rest in comfort and dignity. Two locations, 33 Jordan Lane, Goodwill, and St. Joseph Highway, 245-4014 or 615-4020. Sleep in Comfort Funeral Home, where comfort meets compassion.
On the telephone with me at this time is another brother, Walix Leroy Charles. Good morning to you. How you doing?
Good morning to you, Martel K, and good morning to your listeners. And I just wanted to bring some other information in regards to the situation. First of all, I don't believe that this situation should have been discussed on the radio or in the public, because sometimes we go through situations and it is better we look for avenues to remedy those situations before we can go public. Yes, Coco Jomo, as a matter of fact, I played with him for Kens. We spent lots of time together. As a matter of fact, I brought him on the same medium some time ago. It is apparent that he's going through some issues. Coco has a house, and that house is paid for in Alibishi. I have the evidence from his daughter where the house is paid for until the 31st of May. So which simply means that whatever residence a customer stay is paid for for whatever reason he's in Roseau, and whatever reason he's doing, whatever he's doing, it could be psychological, mental, and I believe instead of rushing to the radio, I believe we should try to seek some more sensitive assistance before we take it. Because sometimes when you bring people's name on the radio, you can tarnish your reputation for a while. And I'm not trying to disregard your effort.
No, because I'm hearing Wadix, and you're making that statement, and someone want to agree with you, but there's a committee I'm being told who is in trying to get some help for him. I just brought it out to bring to the attention to the public that we need to give him help, and that's why I sought to give him help, and I got some help for him. As it relates to the statement about going to Calibishi or living in Calibishi, I'm being told yes that a house was set up there for him, but he refused to go. So we have to sort of discuss his health condition. Yes.
Are you aware Coco has children?
Yes, I am. I am. Yes, I am.
Have you spoken to any of the children?
I spoke to his mother, the mother of one child.
Coco has a daughter, and I can call her name Safia, and he has another daughter, Debbie. And they have been trying their best to assist him. And they are looking for areas where they can assist him psychologically and possibly mentally. And there are lots of times is at one of the daughter's home that he resides. And that same daughter, and the same two daughters, are the daughter that pays for the premises that he has been staying for the last over 5 years. As a matter of fact, over 5 years, he has been living in Karibishi. And that is why sometimes let us be more sensitive, because this man is really and truly an icon. And that is why we have to put things in place for those who represent us at the highest level with distinguished authority. And he's one of those. The system has to be put in place that our sportsmen, our cultural people, our singers, our musicians, those who excel, our doctors, our lawyers, those who excel at the highest level, there is something in place for them, especially knowing that sports in Dominica, sports and culture in Dominica, you don't make a powerful living unless you go overseas. We know it. So a lot of those times, things can get challenging, things can get overwhelming. Okay? And sometimes, people go through phases. You may see a man and he may be broke, but he just on his last thread.
As a matter of fact, I'm happy you said that, Wadix, because I did an interview with him. I'm not a professional, but you can basically tell he's not there. He's not himself. He's disoriented. So, and I'm being told, of course, from sources that they took him to hospital, 2 occasions, seen doctors. We're not about to diagnose anybody. We have to get the medical help that we need, and hence my decision to take this matter to the public so he can get the help that he needs. And I'm being told he has a doctor's appointment today. Let's see where that goes. My intention was not to make it public in a way to criticize or vilify him. I'm saying that people need to reach out to him to help him. That's my point.
Matt, can I please make my statement and then leave your radio station, because apparently you seem to want to cut across me, and that is really irritating me.
No, you can make your point, but of course I have to intervene and make my statements as well. Yes, we have.
Tell the listeners we communicated now, my brother. Tell the communicators we communicated about the same situation.
All right. Well, let's continue. Let's go.
We communicated about the same situation because I believe there are times you allow the family and the close people to see what they can do internally. Because this man is not just any ordinary man. This man is a legend, he's an icon. And this man deserves to be treated that way. His legacy deserves to be treated that way. He's going for some challenges, it's obvious. And I believe most likely people trained in the field should be able to see. That is where I think we should be going. To try to seek assistance to people that are trained in the necessary field to see what can be possibly his problem, because he, as I can tell you now, I can tell the whole world, in my possession is a receipt of where he stayed for the last how many years, paid by two of his daughters, so that when they take care of his rent. So wherever he's supposed to be staying, and he stayed for the last 5 years, that is paid. But I'm just saying sometimes we are rushed. We rush things to the media and social media. We're not trying to internally remedy the situation. And I think media should be the last resort. And that is my professional opinion and ambassadorial position because I know this guy. I've been speaking, I spoke to Coco several times, and I didn't see somebody that was ill when I spoke to him. But I'm not a professional. Obviously, he looked like he has aged. Obviously, he looked like somebody going through a difficult time. But I am not a professional. I reached out to the closest person I know to him, which is his daughter, and I tried to find out what really is going on with him. Because his daughter lives in the same place around the area where the video was taken. And his daughter, told me how many times, as a matter of fact, her dollars be open so that he can come and stay. He has spent several nights there, he sleeps there. And as a daughter in the middle of the city. So I'm just saying there are other sides to the story. And sometimes sensitive issues like that, we have to just allow the normal process to take place before we can evangelize it, because sometimes it sounded like Coco, one is homeless, two is a beggar, and possibly see if it's Rosso he wants to see how you can possibly get a place in Rosso. And from my understanding from the doctor, there is a prominent doctor that normally is on QFM that is trying to seek his personal resources to get him a one room in Rosso. Good morning, Matt Bertie, and good morning.
Good morning, Wadix. While I understand your point of view. After listening to Coco show last night, I'm not one that will even release the interview I did because of his state of mind. All I heard him said last night that really moved me. He had no place to sleep. Franklin Moses, you're one who understands a mental patient. Of course, you are one yourself.
Continuing to be.
What do you think is the mindset of Coco at this time? You've spoken to him.
We talk every day by Bolo. That man needs help. Like now. Before it's amplified. Yesterday, when we spoke, I didn't recognize him. He's drawn, withdrawn, focused on what I don't know. However, in saying and talking with him, in my spiritual diagnosis, I got to say it. He's a very proud man. So pride is getting in the way. I'll tell you straight up. With me, same thing. When pride had me, I didn't want to hear from you. Remember I cussed you out? Can't remember. Like I cussed out Matt. That's because I was in the wrong place mentally. Coco Shu is in the wrong place and he can get help. And the beautiful thing about he can hold, and you can testify, he can hold a conversation. So he's not mentally discombobulated. Something is hindering and it is going to be broken. With the right intervention, we're going to see the light and bright of this man who's, as Wadix rightly said, it's a national icon. Even me, when I see him, I said, and you turn Fox Downtrade into a rat. This man is a national hero. Just as you helped me, Matt, I'm committing part of my salary to you or to Wadix, whatever percentage I have placed in my heart, because people reached out to me, even this morning. And the best that I can do is pray, Father, in the name of Jesus, you did not give us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. Take it away, Matt. This lady asked me, sorry sir, where is D&D Plumbing and Electricals now everybody talking about? I said, ma'am, D&D is located on 2nd Federation Drive, Goodwill, above Nagico. It's that green and orange building. D&D, we also do services and sales, general plumbing such as PVC pipes and fittings, kitchen faucets, bathroom faucets, shower valve, and all the other functional parts needed for your loo or toilet. At D&D Plumbing, we have in stock inline ball valves, check valves, and all the other parts that are necessary for a job well done. And now for the big one, baby, don't forget your drain busters to unplug your waste pipes. People don't have to know your business. D&D also got your pressure reducing valve to reduce water intake, thus reducing your plumbing expenses. The reason why customers just keep coming to D&D is because of the great customer service, exceptional product knowledge, and hard to find plumbing items and tidbits. D&D on Lower Federation Drive, the full comprehensive plumbing services, repairs, maintenance, and installation. Just watch out for the green and orange building. This lady asked me, sorry sir, where is D&D Plumbing and Electricals now everybody talking about? I said, ma'am, D&D is located on 2nd Federation Drive, Goodwill, above Nagico. It's that green and orange building. D&D, we also do services and sales, general plumbing such as PVC pipes and fittings, kitchen faucets, bathroom faucets, shower valve, and all the other functional parts needed for your loo or toilet. At D&D Plumbing, we have in stock inline ball valves, check valves, and all the other parts that are necessary for a job well done. And now for the big one, baby, don't forget your drain busters to unplug your waste pipes. People don't have to know your business. D&D also got your pressure reducing valve to reduce water intake, thus reducing your plumbing expenses. The reason why customers just keep coming to D&D is because of the great customer service, exceptional product knowledge, and hard to find plumbing items and tidbits. D&D on Lower Federation Drive, the full comprehensive plumbing services, repairs, maintenance, and installation. Just watch out for the green and orange building.
Just me goal winning Rosso again. Same place outside Flossies. I tried to dock in, but you had time see me. Where? Story start again. Million, lot of my power we got, huh? Soccer fella. I said the same thing you doing, shopping at Flossies. And you don't have to tell me the same thing you tell me last time because I busy. Is to hear him way. You reckon? About my pocket the boy. I won't tell you that I save money in food and drinks when I buy quantity. I save more. Oh, shucks, man. Well, when you're still telling me, I know already. Tu paga respecte moi. But it can even pepper pale.
All right, Dominique, just for a few more minutes. I have the son of Mr. Hippolyte, Dr. Hippolyte, the son of Coco on the telephone at this time. Let me see if we can have a conversation at this time. Dr. Hippolyte, good morning to you, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Pelte.
How are you?
How are you?
Good. A little concerned, but I'm okay for now. Mm-hmm. You said you wanted to explain. Okay. You wanted to explain just what is happening to your dad. Give us up.
Yes, Mr. Pelte. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it would get to this that I have to call on national radio to clear the air on what is a sensitive and personal family situation, but it seems like the mechanisms outside of his immediate family and friends have taken it into their hands to make his situation public. A totally normal situation that many Dominicans go through, I might add. Mr. Franklin, how are you? I realize you're on here.
Yes, sir. I'm here with you, sir.
How are you?
He said,
I'm doing well, fine. Just a concern about your dad. So continue talking to Matt.
Yeah. Okay. So my dad is not the young guy that he used to be.
Okay.
That's number one. My dad as well has gone through two very important recently, which is the death of his sister and the death of his best friend. Apart from that, personally, what I think plays another part in this is his personal situation in his relationship, which he went through some difficulties with as well. But all that together, my dad, yes, has gone through some changes in his psychological well-being.
Okay.
Changes which have been sudden because I'm currently not on island. I left Ireland 7 months ago.
Okay.
Before I left, my dad was okay.
He was.
I would not have left if my dad wasn't okay. 7 months ago to now, we have me and my family, my cousin, my sister, and his close friend circle. We have noticed the changes in my dad. My dad is not homeless. My dad is not wanting. My dad has a house in Kalibishi. As you expounded on after you were urged to, my dad is not homeless. My dad does not need food. My dad does yes, all the support and attention that he has, because my dad was a very social person, it's welcome. However, this rhetoric that he is this able person, he's homeless, destitute, where's this coming from? I appreciate the attention you want to bring to the situation. However, this seems like very amateurish journalism. You don't speak to the family. You don't speak to the many people in Dominica which are aware of the situation and are currently working. My dad has had appointments with the psychiatrist.
But let me just hold. We're not making noise here. Let me tell you how this situation was brought to my attention yesterday. His child's mother in the Guadeloupe reached out to me yesterday. Okay, so then I took it on my own, and I went to the gardens where I found Coco shoe. Okay, disoriented. I chose not to share the interview that I did with your dad. I just said you have not seen your dad in recent times, so you don't understand what. You understand?
To my dad, I call my dad. My dad has a phone.
No, he doesn't have a phone. He doesn't have a phone.
Yes, my dad has a phone.
I can tell you right now, he says he doesn't have a phone. I looked in his bag. There's no phone.
Matt, you yourself came on the air and pointed to that you've noticed the psychological changes in him. He says things. I will not say my dad's diagnosis on air.
Yes, but I know.
This is tried and tribute to his condition. He says things. He's in his own world.
Yes.
So you're taking the ramblings of my dad and coming to present it as fact on the radio without confirming anything.
But I just said he was disoriented. I'm not presenting any fact.
Yes, but he has a phone. That's what I'm telling you.
Well, I'm telling you, he had a bag, and he looked for his phone. There's no phone in the bag. He said they took his phone. As I'm telling you.
Doc, Franklin here. I've had the opportunity every day, every living day except yesterday, to interact with my beloved friend, your dad. And he has, let me give you an example. So Jeff, who is Bolo's cousin, brother, said something to me, and I told him off. And you know what your father said to me? Come on, you're better than that. Your father said that to me. So the gleam of excellence is still in him. But I want to also speak on Matt's behalf.
Many of his close friends will see that they are still able to have a full conversation. When he recollects all the heydays of his childhood and adulthood, he is still there. However, he goes through episodes where he is disappointed. If he did not have his phone on him, the phone is at the home of my sister where he resides.
Continue, doctor. Continue.
Are you gonna?
Continue. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, you said you were pointed into his direction by his child's mother. We understand that. However, this is what is mostly depressing, because all this in Guadeloupe, all this was explained to her. Everything that we're doing for him is explained to her. I really don't see where this has to get to national radio.
Okay, Doc, it is done already. What is your recommendation now, since you are away from us, the people who are listening who care about your dad? What would you recommend now? When Matt first asked me the first question, because of experience and knowledge, early intervention. Do not let him spend another month isolated. I suspect, like me, I would when I was going through my problem, they sent me to the home for the aged. I couldn't live there because they're not my speed. So your dad obviously wants to remain connected mentally to what revives him, what gives him a purpose.
Mr. Moses. As I was explaining, my dad goes through his periods of disorientation. However, he is very much still ambulant, able to take care of himself. We have sat down with my dad and explained to him what would he be most comfortable with. Anyone that knows my dad will not sit down in an elderly person's home. No, privately, publicly, anything like that. He has the house in Kalibishi. We've considered getting him a caretaker there. He does not want to be in Kalibishi anymore. He resides by my sister in town. We've discussed with him getting him his own house right here in River Street, close to my sister, close to his old neighborhood. where he's familiar with, where everyone knows him, there'll be little chance of him getting hurt, getting lost. I don't know if you guys know my dad, but he's very stubborn.
We just said that.
Some days he entertains the idea, other days he doesn't entertain it. We've spoken to about 3 houses. My dad isn't willing, primarily because of his mental state currently, and secondarily because of who he is.
Which is pride.
Not pride.
Okay,
Why would there be pride
what
in
would
it?
you? No,
My dad still is economically independent. We help him out, but he has full control of his financial means. There's no pride in this. My dad is just going through something. Hopefully, he can get out of it, but he's getting financial help, he's getting emotional help, he's getting medical attention. My dad is not a destitute.
Yeah, I said that what the statement I made was not a negative one. I'm just simply saying that he has the capacity now to bounce back with, as you're saying, yet he has. So Mr. Hippolyte has indeed a network looking after him, and there's absolutely no need for concern right at this point in time. You're suggesting?
Excuse me?
I'm suggesting that at this point in time, what do you recommend? As Matt has started activate, other people are activating. What would you want to say now? A final word to Matt, to the nation, and about your dad.
Final word to Matt, the nation, and about my dad.
Yeah, like what would you like to see happen today? Go ahead.
Thank you for all the care and support that you are showing to him. My dad likes to converse. He likes to be around people. Where you see him, engage him, try to make him remember the good old days. Any help is accepted. I'm not going to say that my dad will not accept this, will not accept that. But I'm speaking in terms of emotional, psychological support. The rest, I believe the family are currently unable to maintain. We have spoken to the necessary governmental bodies. We didn't go to the Football Association.
Okay.
Not sure why. But we did go through. My dad has appointments at the hospital. My dad has a private doctor. I'm really not sure what else.
And what prayers, I guess. Prayers for him.
And please allow for this situation to be dealt with in-house, please. My dad, he will converse with him. He will say things. I'm sure a lot of us have parents who have gone through this situation already.
Mm.
We should understand without it being said blatantly what it entails and what it is. But please let it be done behind closed doors.
All right, brother. Thank you very much, Dr. Hippolyte. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
All right. At least brought it to the attention of the public, and I'm happy that you stepped in.
Yeah, Matt.
Because as a matter of fact, Mr. Some former footballers is now forming a committee to take care of him.
I was about to tell that. Coco Shoe is in good hands. When I was drifting out of my safe zone, you remember clearly. I remember the situation when you mentioned it. You offered me food because I was hungry. You stopped because I was busy. You questioned me and I cussed you out. That didn't dampen your relationship with me, but I was out of it. Normally, if I have to talk, me and you argue all the day. Yeah. Every day, me and Matt argue. Wait. I'm going home. But when Matt asked me, Franklin, I haven't seen you for the morning. Where are you? He needs somebody with accountability, and I think his son, who's distant away, find somebody who will hang out with him, talk with him, hang out with him. He wants to sit by Bolo, sit with him.
Yes, go ahead.
And that is a beautiful thing. So, Matt, once again, may God add this to your account. May God put this into your account for reaching out to people like myself. Don't forget, I'm still not like 100% safe. Matt has to make sure that I take my medication one way or the other. So we need somebody with him. But until then, God bless you, Matt. God bless you, the Football Association. God bless you, the family, his daughters, his sons, his well-wishers. We are all working and rooting, but God will make happen for you what you make happen for me. Thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you. As a matter of fact, when I spoke to him last night, I asked him and reached out, gave him some food. because he did not know where his next meal was coming from. So you see some people, and I'm very happy that Dr. Hippolyte reached out, but I brought it up to the public so you can reach out whenever you can to Mr. Coco Show. Right, thank you, thank you. On the telephone, hello, talk to me. Yes, yes. Are you there, caller? Yes, how are you?
I'm not inside of you, and you're not inside of me. But I feel a little lonely.
Feel
Because I
lonely?
did not see anything much that you did that was wrong. You understand? And the way you are explaining it, see, as though it's an accusation, like towards it you do. I know maybe it's not everything you can do, everything you know how to do. You can do what you can do. You understand? Why I'm speaking to you is because my dad was a mental person for 38 years. I take care of my father, who from Suffrage Spot didn't know that. And I go through it by myself without the help of nobody. And I have 3 children, and my grandmother, and it was a rough road. You understand? And people used to say, call my father fool and all this. But I stayed there. His name was Cherry. They call him Mark Journalist, and I'm 30. He died in 2019. And, sometimes people go further, but sometimes our own people do not want people to know certain things. We have to learn to accept certain things. I used to work with my father. I got scolded. I like a donkey going up and down in the winter, summer, spring, and Sunday. But there are times there are things, even though you are their children, you don't understand. They're in their own world. And daddy died. They put him in infirmary for me. Still, where you see they living, you cannot take them out from there. They want to say where they come from. And my father was in a cave, go in a cave in Sufri. But I used to go there, fix and clean and do and up and down. Everybody see me who know that they can testify. And I used to talk on when they have the mental people thing. So Mr. felt a bit of good courage. I felt something, maybe you don't feel it, but I felt it. The way the talking coming as though that is you that and they are doing this and that. But at least I want awareness that we're able to help each other. Country, good morning.
All right. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know why everybody seems upset, but I brought it to the attention of the Dominican public because I know, not to criticize, I know that when I saw him yesterday, he was in a mental state. So the question is, if he has a house in Calibishi, just to expand it, and it's paid for 3 months, why is he avoiding Calibishi? And the question is again, why is he sleeping on somebody's porch? Why? So many questions that deserve a lot more answers. I'm sure we'll find out in time. But I'm very happy that the family, as you said, stepped in and trying to reach out. I'm hoping that they can get a little more help. I think he has an appointment with the doctor today, huh? Let's find out. But we're grateful that we're getting the help that he needs. I just did it from the bottom of my heart to reach out. I actually gave him some food last night, and even my brother Hicksy, so they could take and cook, on Mother's Day, like a genuine mother would do. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there? Yes.
Master, good morning.
How are you? How are you?
All right. I know you are a nice person. You trying to do what you have to do, but just cut the matter short. Tell everybody finish it that and leave that alone. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Some things, if you're so aware of his whereabouts, why did you not find out where he slept last night? On the telephone, are you there, caller? Yes, talk to me. Hello? Hello? Let's see if we can get a... Are you there, caller? Yes? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
How are you doing
Hi,
this
good
morning?
morning, Max.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. This is Jomo's child mother.
Okay.
Yes. I'm currently listening to the everything that is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And Like I said, honestly, I didn't have an issue with the family or anything. My thing is, for the longest while, we are doing something, and it became a problem where the daughter cursed me off. I had no connection with them. My problem is not with the family. My problem is Jomo getting the help that he needs. He's too long. It have been over 3 weeks, over a month. He's sleeping outside. All right? That is all. I just want my son father to get the help that he needs. That is all. So I don't know where the family stepping in with a negative. I have nothing personal against them. I don't have anything with them. I just want my son father to get the assistance, the help that he needs. It's all.
And that's why you reached out to me yesterday.
Yes, that's why I reached out to you yesterday, because I didn't know where else to go. From where I am here right now in Guadeloupe, I do not know what next to do. Because if I cannot get through with the daughter, let me tell you, Matt, I am over a year now. That something is wrong with him. He has a problem he doesn't remember. I didn't hear him for quite a while. When I did call him twice, 2 times differently, he was locked in the house. You hear? And he wasn't aware as to where the key was. Ask them if they knew anything about that. I'm not bashing anybody. I'm not here to bash anybody. But I'm just saying thank you so much for what you are doing. And I just need Jomo to get that help. Please. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you. Another side of the story, right? Somebody says usually family members would say thank you to all who tried to help in whatever way you could. There's nothing sinister or ill intent, huh? My brother, my family, no. Out of the goodness of my heart, just trying to get the attention for a national icon, huh?
Matt, good morning. I know you did that from the bottom of your heart. So just continue to do good, Matt, but just leave the people them business alone, okay? Leave the people them business alone. They can handle it. Let them handle their business, because I know you didn't do it for spite. You did it out of your good heart. Just leave it alone.
Nothing sinister. Somebody says, man, sometimes it's not the victim that lives in denial, but also family. Maybe they too live in denial when confronted with a mental health issue.
Back to news from Auto Trade. Incredible savings are here. Take advantage of Auto Trade's Thrifty Thursday promotion. Mark your calendars. On the last Thursday of each month, Auto Trade is offering up to 20% off items throughout the store. Yes, 20% off. But wait, here's more. Keep your eyes peeled for our exclusive Deal of the Day offer, bringing you even bigger discounts on select items. Whether you're looking for car accessories, maintenance essentials, or just browsing for a great deal, we've got you covered. So be sure to swing by Auto Trade every last Thursday. At Auto Trade, it's more than a vehicle, it's a relationship. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, how you doing? Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, what do you want to say?
No, I wanted to tell you that this is the mention the man is facing, because that's how my husband started. And I couldn't, he wasn't remembering anything. He doing things and he didn't know what he was doing. So these people are just trying to pressure on you. But it's a good thing you came out with that. Have a good day.
We're going to change the subject in a minute, huh? Are you there? Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Good morning, Matt.
How are you? How are you? How are you?
I'm good. Matt, as the previous caller said, we're talking dementia, and it has different stages, and it only is going to get worse. And you cannot talk to someone who has dementia as if they were normal. They need special care. So, I listen to the family side, but, he needs special care and attention. He cannot be on his own because of that condition. And obviously, it's going to get worse. So they just need to get him in a home or sometime. He cannot be on his own anymore. And that's the bottom line. Good afternoon. Good morning, man.
All right. Thank you. Of course, there's a virus. Just change the subject there a little bit. Well, let's just take a pause. We'll come right back. Stick around.
Make a big difference, then you can trust me. I'm not just where you should be. That is JP, mega. The one stop shopping, Dominica, nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. Shop with your daughter, with your social. It's to everyone. What a happy place. Oh, JP, mega. The one stop shopping, Dominica, nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. Shop with it's to everyone. What a happy place. Oh, what a happy place. Majestic some more anyhow. You automatically qualify for discounts. Check us out at the Mega Store in Fongolia where there's lots of parking on Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. JP Mega, the best family shopping experience.
If you know quality, then you must know the manufacturers of Dominica's finest rums. Belfast Estate Limited, over 80 years leading the industry with exceptional standards and formidable customer service. We present the manufacturers of BB Rum, Soca Rum, Red Cap Rum, Cask Rum, and the signature Belfast Estate Rum Punch. With island-wide distribution daily, Belfast Estate Limited has cemented its mark as the distributor of choice for products like Eldorado range of rums and creams, Kubali Bear, Corona Bear, Guinness, Root Boy drink, and of course the Sunglass juices, Thomas Snacks, Vitamalt, and Pine Hill juices. Call the office at 440-7032 or visit the distribution outlet at Jimmy Dominica. Follow on Facebook or Instagram at Belfast Estate. Belfast Estate Limited, your leading manufacturer and distributor of rums in Dominica.
At the different phases in life, we move at a different pace. All we need is to be supported. Cause when the baby's coming, business needs revamping, the new job started, and you need an outfit. Let momentum hook you up. Momentum will hook you up. The wedding's your support financing. Let momentum hook you up. Momentum will hook you up.
Take advantage of NCCU's Momentum Loan and get the support you need for whatever stage you are in life with a tiered interest rate and exclusive emergency fund component. Let NCCU's Momentum hook you up. Call 255-2126. Email membercare@nccudominica.com or visit any NCCU location for more details. Your phase, your pace, our support.
All right, Dominica, we have to be somewhat concerned. Another subject as it relates to health, there's health officials continue to track hantavirus. There was an outbreak on the ship. Caribbean health professionals have to be concerned about that. On the last, of course, point there, some people sometimes have a level of pride. And I can tell the situation, I can feel the situation, but we have to get Coco the help that he deserves, and I'm hoping that people reach out to him and give him the help that he deserves. That's my final point. You can't always have pride about things like that. My father is suffering from dementia. What is the big secret? Maybe an onset. But I'm not a professional. I'm not going to come down to that diagnosis. Let's find out. I'm hoping after this he gets the help he deserves. And he doesn't have to sleep on anybody's porch from now on when a house has been provided for him. Why is he staying away? That's another question. I'm hoping that the family can come up with some answers. Let's take this next story, of course, about this hantavirus new that some health officials seem to be worried about.
How this virus spread, the rodents, things like that. I think a lot of people are sort of scratching their heads and saying, well, how is this?
Let's go back to the start of this report. Let's go.
Amish Adalja, the senior scholar over at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us here. This situation is reminding so many people about those early days of 2020 with COVID-19 when it was starting to spread. This situation, though, is very different, right?
Exactly. These are completely distinct viruses. This is not an efficiently spreading respiratory virus the way COVID was. So there's a whole different concept of operations going on here, and there's a whole different trajectory. This is something that will be contained. Yes, it's garnering headlines. Yes, it's scary, and it is a deadly virus, but it's not a very transmissible virus. And there are tried and true public health principles that will put this outbreak to a stop. It is not an epidemic or pandemic threat.
And I know you say that, but when we hear about, how this virus spreads through rodents and things like that, I think a lot of people are sort of scratching their heads and saying, well, how is this happening there on a cruise ship, for example? Because we know that the hantavirus isn't a new pathogen, but have we seen an outbreak of this scale before?
We've seen bigger outbreaks of the Andes version of hantavirus before, including in Argentina, where there was an outbreak related to a birthday party several years ago. So this isn't something new. The virus is still behaving exactly as we would expect it. The fact that it's a rodent virus, that tells you how it got into a human. It got into that initial person who was bird watching in South America, and this is an endemic virus in South America, in Argentina, which is at high season right now. That person got on the ship and infected other people that they were in close contact with. This isn't something that spreads very easily. So it's nothing like COVID. And the fact that the cruise ship is involved is kind of an accident of this whole thing. It's really not related to the cruise ship at all. It's related to the fact that this man got infected with the Andes version of hantavirus, which has been known to spread from person to person and infected other people in this closed, cloistered environment. The virus, there's no change in the virus's dynamics. It's still behaving as we would expect Andes virus to behave.
So that's a relief, I think, for a lot of people who are hearing that. Talk to us a little bit about, because a lot of these people, some of them, before they realized it was an outbreak, this same ship had other passengers. And now several states are monitoring U.S. residents who've already gotten off that cruise ship. So what does that kind of monitoring usually entail?
So it's going to vary from state to state, but usually it's going to be telling the person to look out for signs and symptoms of hantavirus, which include fevers, chills, muscle aches and pains, cough, shortness of breath, and then take their temperature at a regular time, check in with public health authorities at regular intervals, and then if they do become sick, to rapidly be tested, rapidly be linked to care. And that's going to vary from place to place, and the duration probably around 45 days or so because of the incubation period being so long. But it's something that we haven't done before. Remember in 2014, when we had a lot of healthcare workers coming back from the West African Ebola outbreak, health departments had to do that same kind of monitoring, which was even more intense and more high consequence with Ebola than for hantavirus.
Really good information, calming a lot of fears, I think. Dr. Amish Adalja, thank you so much for being here.
All right, there's also concern there out of Trinidad on this hantavirus, yes?
Urgent to all my fellow citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to the rest of the world. I know our health minister, Dr. Lakram Bodo, would have already informed the Honorable Prime Minister, Ms. Kam, and measures are being taken and implemented to protect public safety. The synopsis is that a cruise ship with passengers were infected with the hantavirus, multiple strains of this virus, but this particular one spreads from human to human. The mortality rate is between 15 to 40%. This is quite significant. And within the last 48 hours, WHO would have indicated that over 149 persons have now tested positive. This is quite significant. The reality is that 40 persons disembark from that said cruise ship and would have gone back to their respective countries. The incubation period being approximately 2 weeks. Those persons who would have traveled may have potentially affected the entire world. As we go forward, we must be prepared because this has the potential to be worse than the COVID-19. This is not a conspiracy. This is actual, real facts unfolding before our very eyes. The hantavirus Andes strain has the potential to kill 4 in 10 persons. We must be prepared by having the prerequisite human and material resources available to us. And I expect that in the ensuing 48 hours, the rollout and contingency plan for the healthcare system and the people of Trinidad and Tobago will be debated in Parliament to ensure that the required resources are there. This is not a time about politics and politicians, race or religion. This is for each and every individual in this world to ensure that we survive. This is how serious it is, because you or your loved one could be jeopardized because of international travel. It has already happened, and because of that long duration, 2 weeks of incubation, and the volume of persons and the number of countries already having positive cases, in the next 48 hours will be detrimental to the population and the people of this great world. God bless. Keep informed from the relevant Ministry of Health protocols and guidelines as we all try to be our brother's keeper, and we pray and we hope that the worst does not ensue. Love you all. Stay safe out there.
All right, well, I'm hoping that our own officials, the health officials, can put out a statement with the hantavirus. Somebody says it takes about 8 weeks before a person knows or know that they're affected. This is worse than COVID. So please, health authorities let us know what's just going on, huh? Yes, it's a half official there from Trinidad and Tobago. Did I not say that before? Yes, he's from Trinidad and Tobago. Are you there, caller? Yes. Caller.
Hey, Mr. Pell. Morning, sir.
How are you, sir? How are you? Yes?
Yes, Mr. Pell, I hear you speaking about that Hunter virus.
Yes. Hunter.
Mr. Pell, Mr. Pell, you heard what they said, it come from rat feces, dirty environment. That's not what one of the officials said, that it's come from rat feces, urinate, bacteria. And we heard some time back, we all speak about, let's look at our capital. Dogs carry leptospirosis when they pee, when they urinate. People don't take that. You notice we had a rare series of deaths a few months ago, and every time the doctor might just say you have high blood pressure or something. Look at our capital with stray dogs. I live in an area here, Goodwill, and most neighbors just can tell you sometimes you cannot sleep at night when you have a female in heat. And do they taking care of all those things? And look at what we're preparing for, tourism. Look at what we're preparing for in the Caribbean, tourism. We had war and diseases. And Mr. Pelty, I want to remind you, sir, do me a favor. You had a religious leader on Friday. You heard the amount of people who call with different sickness, even mentally challenged, and they didn't have no pride of saying it. So I don't see any problem of having pride with illness. What I want you to do for me, Mr. Pelty, run back that tape and listen to some people, physical sickness, mental sickness, and man, before you open your show in the morning, get Mr. Parilo clipping and just run for 3 minutes max. Just look at how angry people is, even on your show. People must get sick, Matt. Matt, we must get sick. All of us have diseases. I'm not ashamed to say, I'm in the natural medicine, but I have my own illness. Everybody's sick. What are you going to hide away from sickness for? Just do that for me, please, during your shows.
All right, caller, thank you. All right, let's continue here this morning. Thank you. I heard on the weekend that someone in St. Kitts is infected. I'll try to find out from my sources there in St. Kitts, okay? Be very, very, very careful out there. Somebody says the Hunter virus is officially listed as a side effect of COVID vaccine. Interesting. I'm just getting another story there. I'll confirm a little later that that the mental stuff issue is real. A young man may have killed himself in the southeast, some community in the southeast. We'll continue to follow that story. Huh? Mental issues are real. Are you the hell to talk to me? Yes. Yes.
Hello.
How are you? How are you? Yes.
Matt, we need to take better care of our surroundings. Too many dogs and rats all over the place, and people are throwing food all over the place. That is unhealthy. We live in an island where we should be taking care of our nature island, and people are not doing that. And more, there's more sickness and disease. And another more, Matt, may I ask you, is it Sylvester Holmes that is sick?
That's who? Who?
Sylvester Holmes. Is that his name?
No.
Oh, what's a different person?
All right, sorry. As it relates to the St. Kitts story with this Hunter virus, I'm being told it could be a CBI person with a St. Kitts passport. So it may not necessarily be from St. Kitts, but he may be a CBI. He may has a St. Kitts passport. Again, I'm hoping that there's some, not any doctor, but I'm hoping that the health officials can um, share some more information on the hantavirus. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Oh, sorry about that. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Blessings, Matt. I know they cutting me off quickly. Matt, the person was on the ship, so they traveled back to Senki. They did not say that the person was infected. They're saying it's a case to watch. So everywhere people on the ship travel, they have them under supervision. I don't think I heard it, and they did not say the person was infected. Matt, I don't know if the story changed. But Matt, you never hear about organized chaos. Matt, we have not seen nothing. Population extermination. They say reduction. How do you reduce on life? How do you reduce on life? All these poisons and chemtrail and so-called foods and rodent yeast, and now it was from rodent to humans. Now it's from human to human. It's the same thing with corona. It's a game, man. They're looking to plunge the world into pure chaos by design. So they're warring and killing and thing and sickness by their chaos, disaster. Man, it's all a dirty, diabolic game. Do not take my word for it, oh. Blessings, sir.
Blessings.
Yes, and when they come up with their whole hantavirus, you and Q95 start promoting the people to take the vaccine and then something. Bro, my brother, I mean, it's all right, you got to bring awareness to the people, but certain things, it's out of your hands. Because if they're poisoning the people, the world population, they're decreasing the world population, don't be part of it, my brother. Educate yourself with what's going on in the world. Understand? You could give the people information, but please don't promote to the people who are taking anything they have for it when it's man that create their thing to eventually reduce the world population, brother. You don't be part of that because you're gonna be held responsible. Many people you encourage them to take the vaccine, and a lot of them may be passed away already from that same vaccine they take, my brother. Do not do that.
All right, you see, another conspiracy theory. Did anybody talk about the vaccine for hantavirus? And you're asking me to not to encourage people about vaccines? My brother, as I said, stay in your lane, huh? Stay in your lane. I've never encouraged anybody to take vaccines. If you don't want to take vaccine, that's your problem. Is there a vaccine for hantavirus? Did I ever promote a vaccine for hantavirus? All right, 44930. There's always a conspiracy theory somewhere or the other. Huh? Always, always, always. I've never heard that just yet, huh? Just yet about any vaccines for hantavirus. See, there's always a story for everything. They say there 3, 4, 5 sides to a story sometimes. The World Health Organization has cautioned the pharmaceutical companies not to promote the hantavirus as a COVID-like virus, not a respiratory virus at all. You will hear a lot of conspiracies, huh? Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes. Are you
Let
there?
me tell you, sweetheart.
How you doing? How you doing?
Do not let anybody dampen your spirit. Enemy is using somebody to dampen your spirit today. To get you angry, to get you discouraged, everything. Do not allow anybody to dampen your spirit today. You have good courage.
No. It's to dampen my spirit. No, have you ever heard me angry? Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes, are you there?
I was about to tell you that same thing. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Secondly, I say when you have report, you'll have to go to audit to ask him whether you must say certain things. I was not too impressed.
It's okay.
Of his outcome.
It's okay. Everybody has their opinions, right? Thank you very much. Coming back after this.
Great things happen when we crunch together. So crunch and share the love of KFC's bucket together. $45 gets you 6 pieces of chicken, 2 fries, 1 corn, 1 biscuit. With KFC, there's always chances to win big. 3 winners, 3 destinations for an all-expense paid trip with Sunrise Airways, St. Martin Carnival, St. Kitts Music Festival, and Lucian Carnival. $1,500 spent in cash, hotel accommodation, event tickets, and ground transportation. All you have to do is purchase a bucket together. Write your name and phone number at the back of your receipt and drop it in the drop box. KFC's finger licking good.
Need alone, a chicken and 50 pounds beef on each door. And the beef, you in barrier of the state. But with high for premium membership, you want quality products, we have that. You want quality services, we have that too. Our services will help make your dreams come true. That's the fact. Hurry out to NCCU, your community financial partner. Yes, support you through all disaster. And NCCU trust that we care. The kind of loyalty you cannot find anywhere. National Cooperative Credit Union, education, training, and information. Self-help, responsibility, democracy, equality, solidarity. NCCU, we have so hard for our members. So become a member today in one of our local offices to help us make your dreams come true. 255-2126. NCCU, your community financial partner.
From the great to the great, you don't want to see. You need a loan you want to see. You welcome and visitors today. With a commitment to quality, therefore you and me was one the family, but now with the community, making life easy, like it. No matter who you are, you can benefit. When you bring your mortgage,
with rates as low as 5% and loans for all your needs.
Open an MRA,
save for your golden years, and take advantage of our savings product.
We will finance your business.
Checking accounts, small business loans, wire transfers, and so much more.
You all the way.
Wow. Your community financial partner.
NCCU. Exciting news from Auto Trade. Incredible savings are here. Take advantage of Auto Trade's Thrifty Thursday promotion. Mark your calendars. On the last Thursday of each month, Auto Trade is offering up to 20% off items throughout the store. Yes, 20% off. But wait, there's more. Keep your eyes peeled for our exclusive Deal of the Day offer, bringing you even bigger discounts on select items. Whether you're looking for car accessories, maintenance essentials, or just browsing for a great deal, we've got you covered. So be sure to swing by Auto Trade every last Thursday. At Auto Trade, it's more than a vehicle, it's a relationship. Terms and conditions apply.
Convenience make a big difference. Then you can trust me. I know just where you should be. That is JP Mega. The one-stop shopping, nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. If you got a with your social, it's to everyone. What a happy place. Oh, JP Mega. The one-stop shopping, nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. It's to everyone. What a happy place. Oh, what a happy place.
But just fix them on any item and you automatically qualify for a discount. Check us out at the Mega Store in Fongbole where there's lots of parking on Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. JP Mega, the best family shopping experience.
Political power is about to change hands in Dominica.
I'm not giving up.
Jim it, it's your turn. The United Progressive Party, alongside political leader attorney Joshua Francis and solid playmaker Loftus Dumont. Solid lineup of speakers will be at Esprit's Drive near the Convenient Plus Shopping Center Thursday the 14th. Jim it comes alive from 7 p.m. to hear the plans and look for a better Dominica, a better you, the United Progressive Party, the party of the people, by the people, for the people. Come on, Dominicans, join the forces with the United Progressive Party as we help rescue and restore, even bring back Dominica from the brink of destruction. 7 p.m. on Esprit's Drive near the Convenient Plus store. Everyone will be in attendance. Don't miss your moment. Thursday coming, power must change hands. The power is in your hands. All the way with the UPP Massive Whistle Stop from Jimmy Thursday the 14th.
I'm not giving up. Today I never give up before.
If you know quality, then you must know the manufacturers of Dominica's finest rums. Belfast Estate Limited, over 80 years leading the industry with exceptional standards and formidable customer service. We present the manufacturers of BB Rum, Soca Rum, Red Cap Rum, Cask Rum, and the signature Belfast Estate Rum Punch. With island-wide distribution daily, Belfast Estate Limited has cemented its mark as the distributor of choice for products like Eldorado range of rums and creams, Kubali Bear, Corona Bear, Guinness, Root Boy drink, and of course, Sunblast juices, Topper Snacks, Vitamalt, and Pine Hill juices. Call the office at 440-7032 or visit the distribution outlet at Jimmy Dominica. Follow on Facebook or Instagram at Belfast Estate. Belfast Estate Limited, your leading manufacturer and distributor of rums in Dominica.
We're hoping that very soon that the health officials can make some statement to bring more awareness of this hantavirus. Now, somebody's asking a question in an open letter that I want to read with you or for you about the China Friendship Hospital. And tell me if you agree, right? We're still with the health issues. What is really going on at the Dominican China Friendship Hospital? Nurses are negligent and lazy. Yes, I said it. And I know what I'm talking about. There's always clueless. They are always clueless and refuse to read patients' charts, far as to know what is required for the said patient. It takes a year to perform one task like changing an IV. An emergency presents itself, and you ask the nurse to call a doctor. Nurse one says, "Yes, I call." Hours later, nurse two says, "The doctor is coming." 4 hours have passed. No doctor. Next day, you see the doctor on the ward and ask why she didn't respond to the emergency call. The same doctor informs you that she never called and advises you to make a report to the director or the CEO of the hospital. Imagine being at the hospital for almost a week and still waiting for test results. Tests are done, the doctor will use the mouth and God gave them to say results will come next week. Tuesday because today is Friday and it's a weekend and Monday is a holiday. What? Where on earth does this happen? Spoke to Dr. Daru. Only then did the consulting doctors and the nurses get into action. And first set of results were given after 4 days being admitted. I shouldn't have called Dr. Daria every day, or I shouldn't have to call Dr. Daria every day for things to happen as they should. This is absolutely ridiculous. A patient is unable to feed themselves, yet a meal is placed by the bedside and they are left to do what? Look at it. Where? At the ward aids. These don't exist anymore. Then a nurse will pass and say, "Don't you eat food?" How? And when I have no assistance. A patient in distress and calls out nurses all night long, and not one nurse comes to the patient's rescue. The nurses do the bare minimum. These are the type of nurses we have caring for our people. No compassion, no empathy. Nurses on Glover Ward count all their days. Vengeance is God's. A patient is on oxygen from day one of entry at the hospital, yet the nurses don't, they're not checking the oxygen levels of the tank. The family has to come, notice the oxygen is not flowing, alert the nurse, who then says there is no oxygen or there's no oxygen tank on the ward. The man has to go to Canefield to fill the tanks. Is that a real hospital? Some questions being asked about, as I said, the China Friendship Hospital in an open letter. What is really going on there at our hospital? Are we really serious? Somebody says, what the person is saying that is so true about what is going on at the hospital? Sometimes you have to wait days for test result at the hospital. Days. On the telephone, how to talk to me? You have to pay for that first. Are you there, caller?
Matt is so true, but not all the nurses were some. But let me tell you, before a patient is ready to die, they call in the funeral home because there's a commission there. When you understand?
You mean the nurses get a commission?
Of course, a couple. Bye bye, Matt.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yes, good morning, man. How are you doing?
I'm here kind of amazed as to what is going on at the hospital. What's that? Your telephone, you have to call me back on another number, Blue. I recognize your voice. Call me back because we're not connecting. Are you there, caller? Yes.
Matt, how convenient, eh? We can blame it on the nurses and the doctors and the warders. I'm not telling you they haven't got the problem, some of them. But Matt, it's not their fault, Matt. Matt, you know that there's a place I've been several times, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
People have confided in me. And I wouldn't tell you who, but nurses and doctors, I'll say it.
Okay.
And Matt, it's not their fault, Matt. They're frustrated. They're hopeless. Matt, they have to be improvising to save people because they have not the equipment, they have not the medication, the supplies, and so many things. So blame it. And Matt, there is a vaccine for hantavirus, whatever is its name there.
Okay.
They have been studying it for a couple of years now, Matt. So they said there is a vaccine for it. And look at where the outbreak was, Matt. On a ship. How convenient. Matt, let me leave you alone, eh?
All right, thank you. Now the family demands an immediate fix, and they scramble to get a small electrical one to fill in the gap until the man comes from Canefield with the oxygen tank. Imagine that, eh? You have to wait for a man from Canefield to bring an oxygen tank to a hospital. Somebody saying, vote the DLP government out if you want change. Is that the answer? On the telephone, are you there? Yes.
Can you hear me better now?
A lot better, a lot better. Yes, go ahead.
Mother, one time somebody brought it to my attention and told me, look out at the old children ward in the hospital. But there were 14. A person from the hospital cell that told that to somebody. And when I went up there, I saw it for myself. About 40 empty oxygen tanks standing outside by the old children unit.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, it was there. Because the people, how you call them, some of the orderlies were complaining that has been standing there for a while now. And Matt, if you be frustrated, Matt,
Frustration can't make you just put a plate of food there for somebody, and you know the person can't help themselves to eat it. Frustration can't make no one to make a bed for a patient. Hell no. Some of them nurses are laissez-faire. The foreigners, some of them are just as bad as the local. Can you imagine you giving a patient a medication, a tablet, and the tablet fall on the damn floor in the hospital, and you pick it up and giving it to the patient? And if the person's family was standing there and tell you what the hell you're doing now, you give it to the patient? That make it like frustration? That's not frustration. That has been plain laissez-faire and lazy. When some of them, they're sitting down there, they're one tell me up there, you think you know it all? I said, no, I don't know it all, but I can see what's going on. Right? Matt, I'm not lying to tell you, Matt, some people might have their ways up there. Some of them are very laissez-faire. When we meet, we will speak it. Even wardens, that some wardens are just as bad as the nurses. They don't want to do their work they're supposed to be doing for the public to get their salary. You go and give them and do a job, go and do it properly. Even if you leave your home vexed, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do your work. I leave my home without breakfast, I come out and I do my work to the best of my ability. That is me. Everybody different. You come to do a job, do it. If not, go at your damn home. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
All right. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yeah? Hello?
Good day, Matt. Good day, Matt.
Good day, Matt. Good day to you.
How are you?
I'm trying my best, sir.
Yes, Matt. I'm not putting blame on the nurses because I see the nurses every day struggling on the road at night time to get right. The nurses are frustrated. I put in the blame on the government. It's the government has to get the blame. They're picking the ward aides. The ward aides are not qualified. The government, they're picking them because of politics. Picking them and sending them at the hospital. They have no interest in people. Zero interest in people at the hospital. They have no interest. All the interest is to get their salary because my parents send me. They send me like some of the nurses too. They join the nursing profession and the parents send them. But also the police officers. Police officers live in big. They live in big. They don't also for right. Every night they have government vehicle dropping them home. But the nurses have to struggle. So they must be frustrated, man. So people are putting blame on nurses and ward aides. Put the blame on the government. The minister, he need to come out. But he's not a minister, man, for hospitals. He's an engineer for road. But that country is upside down. Thank you, man. Have a good day.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Hello, talk to me. Yes, yes.
Master Chief, good morning. How are you?
Hey, how are you, Pastor? Everything good? Yes.
I'm doing very well. My name is Randy Rodney.
Good morning to you, Pastor. Good morning.
Good. And I would not call on that subject without identifying who I am.
Okay.
Matt, quite frankly, I don't make excuses for people at all. I wouldn't do that. I think what is happening at the Princess or at the China Friendship Hospital is the same thing that happens in every government ministry. Everyone. And I'll tell you what that is. There is a problem of management of the human resource that stems from political bias, and that is causing the entire country to be sick. And I explain that to you, Matt. So that
the system is already under pressure in terms of the fact that government is unable to provide all the necessary resources. And for the Dominica China Francis Hospital, it's worse. The government has not been able to provide all the resources at the government, at the hospital. That adds frustration to staff. But the worst frustration that happens is because everybody thinks that they're a government. So some junior nurses and junior doctors think that they are government. So they tell you what they want, or they will refuse to tell you what you should know. And I'll give you a few instances of that, man. And because of that, the whole system is falling apart. The whole system. But as I often say, everything rises and falls on leadership. So you have a patient on the ward, and the patient requires a simple pack, a sterilization pack that is required to dress a wound, to clean a surgery cut, to dress a bobo then. And that is not available. It is not available at a hospital where, when I worked at the Princess Margaret Hospital, there was a central sterilization unit that prepared that for every hospital department. So it was done at the facility. Now you are on the ward and you need that, and a doctor and nurse cannot find one for you, right? And you have that extending to a lot of very critical things that are needed. So that can frustrate people, but that is not the only cause of the human resource deficiencies at the hospital. If you ask me, the major cause is Labour Party policy principle with managing people and managing staff and managing the country. Everything is politicized, so it's politicized down there. Let me tell you what my experience was, man. I went to the hospital. You know, my brother was there, and they required something, and again it was the same sterilization pack. And we said, myself and my nephew calmly said to the doctor, that's okay, just tell us where we can find it, we'll get it. A young nurse, right, says, well, you should not tell them that because they will go and say the hospital haven't got. And I'm not telling what somebody said, I'm telling what is said in my presence. They will go and say that the hospital haven't got that. Now, I have a patient on the ward, remember that, eh? And my primary interest is the good of the patient, right? But you get that response. That response comes from what? That response comes from somebody who feels that they're politically charged. It has nothing to do with the lack of the stuff. It just comes from somebody who's politically charged to represent the Dominican Labour Party in office. To say, don't tell them, because they will tell somebody else that the hospital haven't got it. Will make the government look bad. Give me another case. So that's one case. It is apparent, and I have evidence to point to that. Several people go into the hospital, right? They have absolutely no symptoms, none of sores. They go to the hospital, they get bedridden for a couple of weeks, and they get out of the hospital with bed sores. Plenty people will tell you that they have had to treat these bed sores of their patients. Those who were fortunate enough to get out of the hospital alive, they have to treat these bed sores at home. Now, my understanding, like I said, I keep saying to people, I worked at Central Medical Stores for a few years. My understanding is nobody must get bed sores at the hospital. It is dereliction of duty for a patient to get bed sores at a hospital, because it means simply, Matt, that the patient is not receiving adequate care. Turn them here, the place where they have been lying down, or get a crate for somebody you know that can't move. A hospital must have at least a few crates at the ICU, for example. Because if you take a patient to the ICU, it means that they are severely debilitated. and they will require something like that to prevent them from getting served. Ask the hospital if they have, and if they have, how many do they have to prevent that, right? So you have the issue that the human resource is not putting out their best, because the working environment is at the worst that it could ever be. And I submit to you, Mark, that among all the other things that I happen to know, I wrote a letter. I wrote a 4-page letter to the hospital a couple of years ago, complaining about what happened with a nurse on the ward. They investigated, found out who the nurse was. The nurse is still working as a caregiver. It's somebody that should be taken off and bring to the ministry as a secretary somewhere. He's still working as a caregiver. The system is sick. And unless you remove the people who are responsible for the principles in the system, it will remain like that, Matt, if you ask me. You want to change? That would change the people that's heading the principle of the system. So it's not changing the dominoes on the same table, Matt. It is shuffling the whole game. The whole game needs to be reshuffled and to start again. And the issues are, many people will call you and tell you about the issues. The issues are plenty. I am now dealing with a matter with my brother who was at the hospital, and I am my feeling is that I will take it to the court, because my brother went to hospital for one thing and died out of something that's completely unreal. My brother died out of septic shock. I had a nurse here who came down here to help train, and she was refused, right? And she's a specialist in the management of sepsis. My brother died out of septic shock. Nothing close to what he had. Absolutely nothing close to what he had. And people like me who pain over those things that certain people wanted to gloss over, just forget it. It is causing many other people to end up in the same place. So is there a problem at the China Friendship Hospital? Big problems. Can if Daru solve the problems at the Princess Margaret Hospital? I dare you, even if he wanted to, he can't. Even if he wanted to, and that's my friend, Kenneth Daru is my friend, even if he wanted to, he cannot. Because there are people who have their links everywhere else politically, and once they get there, it weakens the arms and the hands of anybody in serious management. That is a Dominica problem today, and Dominicans need to recognize that and do something about it. The same way you send a letter to the ministry, Mark, to any ministry, for example. Once they see who signed the letter, I am of the view that the letter falls into a trash bin. I'm representing a young church, and we've been requesting a license for a year and a half. And FSU don't know where it is. The police, no, you have to get, the CID have to do intelligence on a church now before they can open a bank account. FSU don't know where it is. The police tells me it went back to the minister. Some people tell me it's on Blackmore's desk. And it's everywhere for a year and a half. And you know why I believe that is so much? Because I happen to be the church. I happen to be the person that the church reports to. Tell me what that is. It's a sickening political environment that Dominicans have to rise up to deal with, man. It is a cancer in the entire country across the board. It is reflecting heavier at the Dominican China Friendship Hospital, because that is supposed to be a place of care. Now, there are some great nurses. Kenneth Daru have a sister there. She's a darling of a nurse. There are nurses at the ward that are, and I can't mention all of them, that are darling of nurses. There are some great doctors, but they are all working in a rotten system. And the rotten system is causing people to die. It's causing people more pain. It's causing misdiagnosis of people. There are people who have been diagnosed with cancer in Dominica, travel to Trinidad, and they haven't got cancer. They're alive. They're doing well. It's causing all these kinds of things because the system is broken. So because you don't have good people, the system is broken. I submit that. That must be changed, man. Thank you very much for the
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you for sharing your own experiences there with the hospital. Man, good morning to you. I went through it, and it is true. I spent 5 weeks at the hospital, and I used to call for my IV sac Porsche. Huh? Imagine you have to call for that. When my sister used to come to see me, she used to feed me or feed a patient, another patient. I'm just here thinking of what I went through, and tears are running down my eyes. Man, the criticisms of the nurses at the hospital are right on point. Don't think for a minute that anyone is lying. They don't care about their oath, and people, not all of them, we have to admit that. They don't care about their oath and people in their care. And that's not every nurse. Are you there, caller? Are you there? Yes.
Hi, greetings, Matt. How are you and your listenership?
My brother, Dr. Pascal, how are you? You good?
Everything blessed.
All right, everything blessed.
I just was fortunate enough to hear Pastor Andy Rodney. And I endorsed practically most of what he said. But he said Dominicans need to do something about it. What he didn't say is what they can do about it. So I'd like to add my little piece and say what Dominicans who are concerned about this can do about this is to start by going and make sure they confirm to vote in the elections. Okay?
Okay.
So that my contribution is that that's what Dominicans can do about this. Dominicans are saying they're fed up, they're not going to confirm, they're not voting anymore, and all of that, not realizing the only thing they can do about the situation that Pastor Randy just described is to confirm or register to vote and go and vote these people out. All right?
All right. Thank you, Dr. Pascal. That's his contribution. Co-confirm and vote these people out. That's the only way it's going to change in Dominica, according to Dr. Pascal. Again, the criticisms of the nurses at the hospital are right on point. Don't think for a minute that anyone is lying. They don't care about their oath and the people in their care. Most of them don't know how to talk to people. A no respect place of care. I love our WhatsApp messages there. Matt, I have come to the conclusion that my people complain too much about issues that they can change. Some people want change and they're not willing to stand and take the necessary steps to bring about that change. More telephone calls. It's 10:16. Are you there, caller? Yes.
But I just have to call after that man that just talked there, but I will see what I have to say. But a lot of these wards and whatever, all of them on the NEP and all of them are politically appointed, them young nurses. But maybe we're eating each other for real, maybe a salami, sausage, hot dog, sausage, corned beef, we don't know what we're eating. So we have been dehumanized. But not is by any means necessary. These people need to be removed from there. I do not think we have the luxury of voting them out anyway. Thank you.
All right, thank you. 449-3095-9697. Hello, talk to me.
1 second.
Yes, are you there? Yes?
Yes, sir. I'm there with you, Matt. Good morning, Matt.
Morning to you, my brother. How you doing?
I am good. I listened to Pastor Rodney, Matt, and I condole with him, but I want to say to him, welcome to the club.
In 2022, 2021, my mother was taken to the hospital, and she was just for a breathing problem, a little problem. She was old, she was bedridden. And 1 week after she was in hospital, we got a call that she had COVID. She contracted COVID in the hospital where she should have been safest. Okay? And she was taken and sent into a COVID center where she was not going to get the care that she deserved. My sisters and them begged with the hospital administration about, say, okay, this COVID, don't worry, we're all willing to die. Give us our mother, we'll take care of her because she needs 24 hours care. And they denied us that opportunity, and I always say they killed her in hospital. Okay? But not irrespective, what problem we have in Dominica, those are small. The problems are going to get worse. Because it seems like our Prime Minister is determined to take in TCN, that is third country nationals, without telling us what the deal is and without having all the infrastructure in place. We are already suffering like that with poor health services, and he's determined to compound it by taking more people. What do we expect to happen? Has anyone seen that deal that he signed with the Americans? He spoke about receiving the names. How do we know who they are? What are the situations? Why the Americans want them out? So these are issues that we have to consider because it is just going to get worse and worse and worse for us in Dominica. Have a good day, Matt.
Good morning to you, Matt. It's really sad regarding what's going on at the hospital. Patients don't know who are nurses or doctors. They come, they don't say their name or what they're doing. The patient has to keep asking questions. Imagine a nurse asking a patient if they did a test, which can only be done at Medicus. The patient then says, the first time I'm hearing about this test, the nurses said or say they should have been done days ago, which makes the patients worse. When the patient is being discharged, they give them medication with another patient's name. Thank God the patient realized when he took it home, before they took their meds home. On the telephone, hello, talk to me. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, Matt.
How are you
This
doing?
is Atimat.
Hey, Athi, how you doing? Athi.
I'm well. You know, how are you keeping? I just wanted to add a couple comments to the issues this morning, but in a more generic way.
All right.
We've been focused on the healthcare department,
Mm-hmm.
but you know that tragedy impacts almost every single department and ministry. And Randy is right when he says it's a management problem. The nurses and the people who are on the front line of these delivering these services are not direct. They are directly responsible because as professionals, they know what's needed, but for some reason they know they can get away with it because management has its eyes focused on other things. Let me give you one or two examples, because the malady is throughout the entire system. You remember black sigatoka?
Mm-hmm.
The disease that we claim destroyed our banana industry?
Mm-hmm.
When all the other windwards who had bananas had the same black sigatoka, but they have continued to sell bananas? Why do you think that happened? It's the same thing. It's a repeat of the health care problem. The gentleman who was the senior plant pathologist at the ministry, at the Division of Agriculture, he was offered help by a Dominican pathologist who was one of the world's experts on dealing with black sigatoka, Dr. Henry Fagan, the late Dr. Henry Fagan, offered to help. He was here back, retired, living in Dominica. He had already solved that problem in many Latin American countries on behalf of international agencies. And he was ignored. He was prevented from making this contribution and helping Dominica out of that mess. But that's not the worst of it, Matt. That senior level technical management person remained employed with the Division of Agriculture. But it gets worse. He was rewarded, apparently, because that same technician who had supervision over all matters relating to plant diseases, including black fever tuber, he became the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture. Now, let's be clear. What does that tell you? Now, that signals what Randy and the others have been saying, that there's a severe management malady in Dominica. Because you cannot be rewarding senior management for having messed up and expect anybody who operates below that level to be focused on steady and constant improvement, because they're seeing that the reward system doesn't operate that way in Dominica. The reward system operates on how well you can shield the political policy-making leadership of the country from blame. And so that issue of mismanagement is in health, it's in agriculture. I have another experience, briefly I will relate. This one has to do with roads, financed by the World Bank in Dominica. Road which was just completed from Pocasset all the way down to Casa Bruce and then going on. There were concerns raised to me by farmers in the area about the very careless way in which the road operation in that area was taking place. It was destructive of the land, destructive of plant material, and appeared to the farmers to be wholly unnecessary, given the rainfall in that area and given the steep slopes and winding of the roads in that area. I visited with farmers in that area. They pointed it out to me. I documented what was wrong and what could be made right. Through other colleagues, we investigated the terms and conditions of that World Bank contract on that loan. And it included the preparation of an ESIA, which was prepared, which was presented to the bank, which was approved by the bank with very specific indication of the measures that need to be taken in the construction and rebuilding of that road because of the particular environmental vulnerabilities of the area. So when we found out, we wrote directly to that department at the World Bank in Washington, D.C., complained, and by law they had to respond, which they did, and they forwarded the complaint to the person in the World Bank who is directly responsible for environmental matters on all World Bank projects in the Caribbean. The person came to Dominica. It was a woman. She came to Dominica with her team of environmental auditors and assessors. We were invited to meet her on the spot of that same area, just past the Emerald Pool, going down the road, etc. We met with her, pointed out the complaints. The farmers were there. And she turned on the officials from the Ministry of Communication and Works who were there and said, how come you haven't reported this to the bank? Because these things that they have made complaints and these practices I am seeing here on the ground are in violation of the ESIA agreement that you have with the bank. And this entire project could be immediately cut off if and she was pointing at herself, if she reported to the World Bank that the government officials were not in compliance. And there was a whole set of cheesy. They tried to tell her, well, we have to move on, we can't stay too long. And she said, what are you telling me? And she said so to them in front of her. She said, I'm not leaving this area until I get a very clear understanding from you. And she pointed at the senior engineer from the government who had turned up. For the first time, maybe, if not the first time, he had turned up with his team. And he said to me, let me hear from you exactly what you are going to do about these complaints. Otherwise, when I get back to Washington, this project is dead. You hear me, Matt? So this is senior engineering services for the country. And I have other examples in every single ministry, in the Ministry of Tourism, in the Ministry of Culture, the Ministry of Sports, no matter which way you look at it. So getting back to IP now and his suggestions. Yes, it's all right to go ahead and make sure you get ready to vote, and I endorse that. But there are other things that citizens can do in the meantime. We did one, because since that, they had to adjust everything in that project and make sure the project remained in line with the guidelines approved by the World Bank. But here we are in a situation where we need to identify who those senior officials are. The technical officials, the chief technical officers in every ministry, everybody in the country is supposed to know who they are. The permanent secretaries in every ministry and the assistant permanent secretaries, everybody in the country is supposed to know who they are. You know why, Matt? Because you know who actually is directly responsible for the administration and management of the ministry, not the minister, you know. The minister has no authority in that, you know. The minister cannot tell them what to do $1 by law. But politically, the minister intervenes, interferes, and those senior officials who are on contract to the rest of us fail to do their duty and actually bow down and kiss the behind of policymakers when they know that that is wrong. So we have to identify them. We can take the matter to another level. That we also need to know who sits on the commission that appoints permanent secretaries, appoints chief technical officers. Who sits there? And you'll go there and you'll see another layer of labor rights. So what has happened? The same thing Trump has done with all the departments of government in the United States has already happened in Dominica. There's been a complete takeover, a complete rollover, a complete removal of any connection with authority in law, in constitution, and the duties of public officials. And in that regard, I want to mention the Public Service Union has a responsibility too. Help us identify who are these public servants who are doing all these evil things, these wrong things, and what are the contractual arrangements for holding them accountable now, not after an election, right now. Then it goes higher because there are policymakers, i.e., members of cabinet and so on and so on, who frankly don't appear to know the first iota about where their authority begins and where it ends. They seem to feel that because they are a minister, they can go on a project site and give instructions. But they do that, and the senior official whose authority is being undermined says nothing to them because he wants to keep his job, or he got a job that he knows he does not deserve. And so there are many, many things we can be doing between now and whenever there is an election. Are we doing that? The media, are you guys researching sufficiently what's wrong with the system so that you know when you have an opportunity to interview people, you can ask those kinds of questions. What is your authority to do this? You had an Auditor General who failed to honor his constitutional responsibility to provide audited statements to the Parliament on a number of occasions. How was he rewarded? He retired. He was rewarded by being appointed to a senior accounting position on the largest public sector project in the history of Dominica, the airport project. So, Matt, let's be very clear. There's lots of things we can do to start cleaning up. We don't need to wait for an election to start cleaning up. But we need men with balls, big balls, and women with ovaries, big ovaries, to stand up. No, not after the election. Are you crazy? After 20 plus years, you still want to wait. Well, let's see what will happen. What sort of caution is that? What sort of foolishness is that? So let us wake up and realize that there are many options. We should be demanding the same way we demanded for an electoral reform process. We should be demanding for an administrative cleanup before the election. Before the election. You see what happened in South Africa after they removed apartheid? They called for a truth commission, which was headed up by, I forget the gentleman's name. He was Archbishop of an African Archbishop in South Africa.
Was it Mr. Tutu?
Tutu.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. But you see, man, we need to call, and that these need to be open on public hearings, not private discussions, where a PS is brought before that commission and said, we have this report on matters of health. Tell us what happened here. And anybody, doctors, operating, retired, and others, are allowed to go and give evidence and testify to what went wrong. It's not a court of law. That commission cannot send anybody to prison. But in the court of public opinion, that is the Supreme Court, an open public hearing where senior public officials, chief technical officers, assistant permanent secretaries, and ministers of government are called to order by the people who have the authority to do that and say, under your leadership, here's what happened in agriculture. Look at the performance of agriculture over the last 20 years, sir, and explain to us what happened to bananas and why, and who was responsible. What happened to coconuts and why? What happened to coconut products? What happened to Colgate? What happened to the marketing of agricultural produce and why? What happened to Dexia? Who's being paid to run Dexia? What is Dexia's mission? And so on and so on and so forth. So I really think we appear to be in a case of where our minds are in a state of in-betweenity. Gordon Morrow, my dear friend of late, used to say, we seem to be in between one thing and the next, but never on it. Let's get on it. Demand the trade unions, the private sector, demand a public hearing on the performance of public officials.
All right. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you. On that note there, I had my colleague there, Franklin Moses, doing a full report on this hospital saga. Listen to this report. Thank you, Arthur Matthew, again. Always a lot of food for thought. Making a lot of sense. Yes.
What is really going on at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital? Nurses are negligent and lazy. Yes, I said it. I know what I'm talking about. They're always clueless and refuse to read patients' charts and files to know what is required for said patient. It takes a year to perform one task, like changing an IV. An emergency presents itself, and you ask the nurse to call a doctor. Nurse 1 says, yes, I'll call. Hours later, nurse 2 says, the doctor is coming. 4 hours have passed. No doctor. Next day, you see the doctor on the ward and ask, why she didn't respond to my emergency call? That same doctor informs you that she was never called and advises you make a report to the director, CEO of the hospital. Imagine being in a hospital for almost a week and still waiting on test results. Tests are done and doctors will use the mouth God gave them to say, Results will come next week, Tuesday, because today is Friday and it's the weekend and Monday's a holiday. What? Where on earth does this happen? Spoke to Dr. Daru, then and only then did the consulting doctor and nurses got into action. And the first set of results were given after 4 days being admitted. I shouldn't have to call Dr. Daru every day for things to happen as they should. This is ridiculous. A patient is unable to feed themselves. Yet a meal is placed by their bedside and they're left to do what? Look at it. Where are the ward aides? These don't exist anymore. Then a nurse will pass to say, hey, you don't eat your food? How? A patient is in distress and calls on to nurses all night long and not one nurse comes to the patient's rescue. The nurses do the bare minimum. They are the type of nurses we have coming or caring for people. That's the type. No compassion, no empathy. Nurses in Glover Ward count your days. Vengeance is God's. A patient is on oxygen from day one of entry to the hospital, yet the nurses are not checking the oxygen levels of that tank. The family has to come, notice the oxygen isn't flowing, alert the nurse, who then says, there's no extra oxygen tank on the ward. The man has to go Canefield to fill the tanks. This is a hospital? Now you get the family demands on immediate fix and this scramble to get a small electrical one to fill in the gap until the man comes from Canefield with the filled tanks. Make it make sense. What if the patient had extreme difficult breathing? The commute from Goodwill to Canefield alone is too much of a waiting time. Furthermore, to add the time it takes to fill up the tank, then the commute back to Goodwill. As a flipping hospital? With sick people? Doctors are off on weekends, every weekend, and only the nurses are present on the ward. The doctors won't come in, but they will only accept phone calls from the nurses or give directives over the phone in an emergency situation. The doctor's on call will tell you that the consulting doctor who is and you should talk to him, that the consultation doctor is off today. Father God. You're speaking to a doctor who just checked the patient. You inquire about the patient's situation from the said doctor, and that doctor now raises her voice at you because you're asking questions. Said doctor then proceeds to say that for her to explain what's going on, you need a family meeting. Every DAMN doctor wants a family meeting to explain what they think is going on. The doctor isn't explaining what's going on, yet sends the nurses to administer meds. You then ask the nurse, what's the meds are for? And her response, I don't know. It's the doctor that sent it. What is this? Intern after intern will walk the ward day after day and all reports are conflicting. 4 doctors will come to the bedside, one after the next, to ask the same questions, but none will read the actual chart with the notes. Then every single doctor will give you a different diagnosis. One doctor prescribes something. The next says stop it and prescribes another because the first one could cause adverse effects. What the heavens name is going on? Doctors at the hospital do not consult with each other with the same patient. No one in that hospital moves without urgency. Or rather, to take that, no one in that hospital moves with urgency. Not one. No, none. Not one in that hospital moves with urgency. No one. An emergency is only an emergency if a limb is visibly off or if blood is spilling. Jesus. To be in the nursing and healthcare, it is a calling. If you just want a job, this is not the place for you. Go plant a lot of dashing instead. Nurses will dress up in their white uniforms and parade rows or walk through the market, supermarket, stores, etc. to purchase whatever, then go to the hospital with the same uniform to care for patients. You feel noble in your uniform, but your character speaks otherwise when you're actually at work. Nurses used to be respected members of society, but not anymore. Something is wrong. If you have a family member at the China Friendship Hospital, make it your duty to stay on the ward as long as you wish to care for your family. The nurses won't do it for you. An example needs to be made as so others will fall in line. If not, we are doomed in this healthcare system. We need to start.
Franklin Peter Moses. With that narration there, read the hospital. what's going on? Thank you, Franklin. Let's take a few voice notes before we wrap it up.
Matt,
Yeah.
I agree with Dr. Ike. You have to go out and vote. You have to go register. Please go register so we can vote these people out of office. And you have some people that call a radio station and say that they are not going to vote. I understand your frustration. I understand your disappointment in voting before and the same people come back in office, but you still have to go out and vote. All right? Without a vote, you haven't got a voice. You haven't got no say so in what's going on in the country. And Dominica is in an deplorable state. You have to go and vote these people out. No matter if the people was doing a great job in Dominica, no one person is supposed to be in office for over 20 years. All right? We need changes. You need different mindsets. All right? So go out and vote. And Dominica is not doing great. Dominica is in a bad. I would love to move back home, but my God, not under this leadership. I it's just, please, I'm asking you to go out and vote. Vote. You want to see changes in Dominica? You have to vote. You have to go out and vote and get rid of this administration and let something new comes in and see the difference. And if you don't like it, then you vote them out. All right? But we have to vote. We have to go out and vote. Please, I'm begging you people, young, old, vote.
My story is that I am happy to be alive after doing my surgery a few years ago at that hospital. 3 minutes after I was given one medication by one nurse, another nurse is coming to give me medications. I'm asking, what are you giving me? Because no introduction, no good morning, no how are you feeling, nothing. He just grabbed my wrist in my hip lock into attempted to inject me for medication. So I pulled my arm and I said, what are you giving me? And they called the name of the medication. So a while ago, I don't remember the name. I said, but I got that 3 minutes or 4 minutes ago. He said, no. I said, no, just read my chart. I got that medication 3 or 4 minutes ago. And then she, but for Chewy. And then she walks away. And it happened 3 times. So on the third time, when two nurses tried to give me the same medication within 5-6 minutes of each other, I said, okay, I need a list of all the medications I have to take and how often I have to take them. And when is the time I will call you because you all tried to kill me. Okay? Set that aside. I was supposed to have my surgery at, around 8 o'clock, from 8 o'clock to, all right? So I expected to have a good night's rest. The lights went out at 2 a.m. and they came back on at 4 a.m. So that's the amount of sleep I got. And when the lights came back on, the TV is right over my head. The nurse puts on the TV loud so that she can sing along while she is washing the patients at 4 o'clock in the morning. I asked the nurse, please lower the volume. That TV not loud, that not loud. So I asked another nurse passing, can you please lower the volume, nurse? Because I really did not have enough sleep after the surgery just now. She said, sure. The nurse said, sure, and she reduced the volume. Well, the first nurse got vexed, and from that time, nurse trying to kill me. That lady had to give me my enema before my surgery. And the more I told that nurse to stop, I can't take more. Stop, nurse, stop. That nurse is squeezing from that bag, from that douche bag. Squeezing, and I'm bawling, nurse, stop, nurse, stop. And how the nurse stopped is when I pushed my fingernail into her tendons on her wrist. I held her wrist and I was squeezing. And then she started to bawl, no, stop. So I said, so no, you know what stop means? And I had to rush to the bathroom mat. But and from that time, that nurses were after me. I had my surgery. I am lying on my bed, and the nurse is crashing her cot into the iron bed I'm sleeping on, banging it, until a next patient, after I have major surgery in my mat, okay? The patient next to me saying, why are you doing that? The woman is sleeping. She just had surgery. She did not do anything to you. That's what you're doing, crashing your cat into her bed. All you must know those kind of things. Matt, I have a lot of stories I could tell. For time's sake, I will stop. But my story is a horror story. Very few nurses are nice. Yes, they are nice, but they're very few and far between. Okay, the worst demons are running around the hospital. Matt, I am not ashamed to say because I went through it. Okay? Those people they have no conscience. They have no heart. And before they have to see God's face, they have to ask repentance, like all of us.
At least that's your testimony, and you just admitted there. Not all, not all. There's some beautiful nurses out there, some hard-working nurses. Of course, we have a news conference coming up with the police. And I'm sure we'll share some of what took place at the news conference. Remember the fire last weekend? Do they have somebody in custody? Just heard of a murder in Portsmouth. They heard of a suicide on the weekend. A few things to report on. Let's take a phone call. Are you there, caller? And we may have to continue. Are you there, caller? Yes.
Morning, Matt.
Morning to you.
Hi, Matt. Let me tell you, I have met some very nice nurses. I just want to shout out Dr. Moise.
Okay.
Matt, you see that young man? That man, I cannot say anything bad about him. And it's not because he goes and he kicks me. Not the man will assess who is critically ill, who is that at the casualty department. Hats off to Dr. Moise. Continue doing the good work you're doing. Hats off to Sister Francis. Hats off to Sister Matthew, Sister John, Nurse Kanika Shillingford. I want to big up all nurses. Nurse Candia John. Not there are some very nice nurses as yourself. Not I'm also suggesting before you get to the hospital, there's a white wall. It's like a backfill wall on the side by the hospital. I'm suggesting the wall can be painted in white and allow the public to write the names of the nurses and the doctors on that wall. Make it look pretty. Color it up nicely, and then step before you kind of put it into the parking lot. There's this piece of wall right there. I am suggesting that to make us, the public, write the name of the nurses and doctors who have done well for us on this. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, boy. Somebody says, man, after 21 years as a nurse, I had to leave when I saw the shit that's happening in our health care system. On the telephone, hello, talk to me. Yes.
Good morning to you, Mr. Pelty. Fireman touching this. How are you doing, Mr. Pelty?
I'm hanging in there, brother. How you doing?
No, I'm listening carefully, Mr. Pelty, to everybody give me a little voice, but you know that little country called Dominica, which I call it Rivernica. That is my country. Nobody can tell me where I travel. I go all over, I see what's happening in the world. Now, Mr. Pelty, it has two bodies, an acidic body and an alkaline body. Now, Mr. Pelty, no, we don't realize all of a sudden right now in our life, if 20 people die, 15 die is cancer, right?
I don't have the stats on that. I don't have the stats on that.
But I telling you, even foreign, I watching for myself, I thinking and analyzing for myself, right? No, I don't know if it's the problem, is it the doctors and them, or is it the cancer? Well, I find to myself, for so long, how much people die in cancer, right? Everybody talking. We have millions or thousands of scientists. Up to now, the same problem yesterday, we have the same problem today. No. Going to the hospital, Mr. Pelty, we have a good hospital. I hear everybody speaking about the hospital, right? What problem I have right now? Mr. Pelty, right now, I'm managing where you be there as a manager, right? You have to do what you have to do. You have to respect yourself, respect every people in them same way. No matter whatsoever political party or whatsoever church you go into or whatsoever after whatsoever you be. Anytime human being come, you have to do as a teacher and this you have to respect that. Now, and everybody saying a whole heap of thing, even Mr. Afimate. I remember once upon a time he was the Minister of Agriculture. And I don't see him do nothing. But if I right now, you're not doing nothing, you have a whole heap of plan, a whole heap of project. My Lord, catch all yourself. And if I will not Mr. Pelty now. When I never government come in power, only hot people are working in the hospital. What are they going to do? They're going to fire them and bring a new set of people. Mr. Pelty, this is a great country. I love my country. And we are one of the best leaders in the Caribbean.
All right, my brother. Now keep loving your country and keep loving your leader, huh? Okay, Rivanika. Great comments from Arthi. Worth a replay in the future. Some people say we have a great hospital, a great building, but not a hospital. All right, let's take a few more voice notes and we wrap it up here in the morning.
But bear in mind, state of the art costs money. Everything is money. So if there is no money to install state of the art, my brother, state of the art will just be a word of a term in black and white. Everything costs money. You have to have state of the art, to have these things and so high speed. The country needs money. Now, does the country have money to afford that, to make it the state of the art? That is the big question. Can the country afford that? Can the country afford that? You come to the hospital this morning and they perform some tests and your next of kin done in 3 hours gets a message on your phone saying you have the diagnosis XYZ and whatever, and the prescription for it, recommendations, and a lot of doctors you can go to and whatever. That's the that. There is a bagatelle. I'm calling on the authorities. I'm asking them, I'm advising them. Please, name the health center after her. Miss Francis.
All right, Dominica, 449-3095. Let's see if we can take a few calls before we wrap it up here. I have to get to the news conference in short time. Are you there, caller? Yes, let's take a phone call. Yes, our final for the morning. Are you there, caller?
Yes, madam, yes.
Okay.
What is the connection between the government, the hospital, Lafayette, and what they call in the other one, medicals? Because it looks like everything that has to be done right now at the hospital has to go through Lafayette and medicals. When we have a lab in the hospital that was capable of doing everything, what the hell is going on? Ask that question for me, please. We need to know what is the connection. People have to pay what lot of money to Lafayette, what lot of money to medicals to get the same things that could be happening in the hospital. The big, nice hospital we have there. Why is it being done? It's the other places. What is the connection? What deal they have? I'm asking that question. I'm a lawyer. Bye-bye.
All right, Dominica, we've got to go. We've got to go. Huh? We've got to go. I'll be back at 1 o'clock hour. In the meantime,